Why hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, as always, of course. I'm always here. So today I want to tell you guys about efficient ways of taking tiles. I did one of these videos a while back, but I feel like I could make it better, quicker, more efficient for you in the video itself, so you can follow. I am Zollin Ironshield as always, or Voice of the Rings. And I am with a great group here, and of the Team Fire and Burn is the group I'm in. And we are going to talk today on efficient tile taking. What do you need to look for? So the first thing that's really important that I always tell new players. Oh, and Zollin, my Dwarven assistant here, says he would like you to all subscribe and like if you'd be so kind, if I do earn it. Thank you. So you need to make sure you're not losing troops. That's a huge thing in RIseToWar, guys. Early in the game and later in the game. I just did a video a little while ago on the same playlist here of troop rotation. How important it is to keep your barracks, everything going, healing, apothecary, recruiting, all of that. But something that's really important for tile taking early is it's really fun early to want to just send all your troops at a high level tile and try to take it, right? So first things first is you need to kind of know the different levels of tiles, right? So there are tiles right through, this is kind of beginner level, most of you are going to know this, 1 through 300, right? It goes 10, 15, 30, 40, 60, 90, 130, 150, 200, 230, 260, 300. Okay, those are the different levels of strengths of tiles. We'll go through them real quick, slowly. There are 4 different kind of resources. Some are not in some others. For example, 150 tiles are only stone and wood, and 130 tiles are only food and iron. Okay, there's that weird little middle ground, and then everything else has multiples of all. Okay, just a little side note there. When you're taking tiles, you need to think about a few things. So the grass plains that are just empty, and again, if you want to know where these little numbers are, by the way, pop up on the screen. If you go down here at the bottom, it says power at the bottom left. You can turn these numbers off and on. It's really helpful for new players. And also, again, you can also use the search engine, right? Which you probably should know how to do. You click any, I don't care what resource, right? I'm just going to look for, just for any resource between 60 and 90. Search. Oh, look, there's a 90. Oh, look, there's another 90. Oh, there's another 90, right? There's probably not many 60s. Oh, there's a 60, right? So again, that's how you use the search thing. Just a little side note there. I thought that's kind of important for you to know. So again, not losing troops. This is really, really, really important. So when you attack a tile, say march on it, it's going to say certain words, right? So if you're a lower level character, like this character, negligible, right? So what if I want to attack this level 15 with my level 7 Dane with 100 troops? Oh, terrifying. So if you look down here at these numbers, this is what matters here at the bottom. And this is what you need to understand to be efficient in battle, okay? You will not know this with PvP, but you will know this with tiles. So it says the enemy commander is a level 6 right here. And it says that his army is power of 1,620 and yours is only a power of 720. Well, why is it terrifying then? It's because my guy only has 100 troops. I could add more. It's not max. So now what if I had tried to attack this with Zollin, who's level 11? All right, look what it says. Negligible. It's like nothing. It's super, super easy. So what if I was going to attack this 30 tile with Zollin with his army? Overwhelming. I'm still going to crush him. See the difference? If you look, so it's a level 8 commander on the tile, so there's one army on it with a power of 3,240, and my power is 8,020. Now, I don't want to freak you out where you're like, oh, should I never attack a tile unless I'm exactly the same power or exactly the same, or I'm way stronger. No, not necessarily. Early in the game, you are going to want to push it. If you're like 1,000 under, you might want to go for it if you have a really strong commander at tile taking, like Theoden or Gandalf the Grey or Thorin Oakenshield or one of those higher level. You could probably take it anyway. And you want to do that because then when you get higher, once you're able to mock battle, you can have other commanders catch up. If you have a level 130 or 150 tile, you can mock battle on. Though mock battling usually is best on like a 200, but early you might want to do 1 or 2 just to catch another commander up. Or your main commander if you want to buff him up so he can take a 200 tile kind of thing. So that's what you need to think about. So for example, my Theoden here, he's level 25. He's got a power level of 21,020. He's got 36 slots, right? How can you increase these slots? Well, the main ways to increase the slots obviously are level up your commander, but you can also with the building in the military academy. All right, when you're anything you're building, if I go in here real quick to the building, So the military academy will actually increase how many every commander can have. So it's good to build that early if you want to hurry and try to get those higher level tiles. That'll help you have more troops. Also, higher level units will increase your battle power too, right? Of course, that's how that works. But I did another video on that. We're mainly talking about the tile taking. So now if I want to take this 190 tile, if you look here, when I attack it with Thorn, who's level 13, I have a certain amount of troops in there. His army power is 10,050. It says evenly matched. That's because, so dark green is usually you're going to destroy it pretty easily. Yellow means it's going to be on par. You'll probably lose some troops. We'll attack this right now. And red is usually like terrifying, or like you're probably going to lose most troops. You probably won't beat the tile one hit kind of thing. Now, there will be times that you might want to be, let's say you're able to take 60 tiles, not 90 yet, but you have 2 or 3 commanders that are just under, they're like 1,000 power under that 10,000, right? They're like level, 15, 16 commanders in there have like 8,000, 9,500. You might, if you have enough troops, you might want to hit it a couple times to get that higher level tile and get past that checkpoint, right? Where there's like the little missions early so you can get more slots, right? I'm talking about these missions right here, right? So you can get more slots while you're doing these chapters at the beginning of the game. Every game has it. Helps guide you through the game what to build too. So that can really help you out. Okay, so those are important things to remember when taking tiles. So I'm going to go ahead and let Thorin take this tile, and we're going to talk a little bit more. If you notice, my Thorin only had 500 more power, so it's very balanced, a very balanced tile taking. Now, early in the game when you first start, there's 24 hours where you get 50% reduction to taking damage, or deaths, basically, from tiles. And so they go to your wounded instead of being death, 50% less. Very good. That is the time where you may, with that in that 24 hours, want to throw a bunch of your units against commanders against a 90. Though it also recharges your wounded commander faster. So let's say you want to take a 90 tile and you're still, you don't have really the power to take that 90 tile, right? So the 90 tiles are still pretty strong, right? Here, let me hover one here so I can read it for you while I do it. So you're like right here, for example, you want to take this 90 tile, and I have a Dwarven. Let's say it's your strongest commander. He's level 11. You're like, well, my army is 8,020 strength. Their commander's higher, and it's at 10,000. It says overwhelming. I'm probably going to lose the first fight, and maybe all my men will die. Well, if you have that early buff, what happens is your commanders also aren't wounded as long. Whenever you lose a fight where all your men are gone, your commander doesn't die. He gets wounded, right? For like 10 minutes or something. I don't remember the time off the top of my head. But it's only like 10-15 seconds with the first 24-hour buff, because it's like a 90% reduction or something. What you can do is you can just wait, because remember, you get 15 minutes to take a tile once you hit it once. And then after 15 minutes, it resets the tile, and whatever armies were on it, even if they were wounded, are all back to full health. So you do have a time limit, right? But if you're right near the tile, so you can get back and forth in only like 30 seconds with traveling, you want to send in your troop, boom, hit it, you'll probably lose, fall back. Don't just send another commander that's level 3 or 4 if you have a level 11 commander against a 90 tile. Don't just do that, because you'll just lose over and over ridiculously in troops for no reason. Just wait for your level 11 commander to heal, put more troops on attack again. You might have to one more time, boom, boom, you'll take the tile. Now you have a 90 tile, you can get past that objective or whatever, and maybe you can use it as a mock battle or gathering resources tile, right? That's only recommend you do that if you really have a ton of extra troops and you really want to get a little bit of a head jump start. Don't do that all the time. Don't lose your troops. It's not good. And again, or if you have that 24-hour buff at the beginning, that'll help. You could do that then. But I highly recommend you don't do that. Make sure it's evenly matched if possible. But even when it's evenly matched, you still lose a lot. Look, I lost 224 to dead, and I got wounded 148. Then you might say, oh, that's a pretty good matchup since he's level 13 and Grima is level 18, and Grima lost 1,800. You can't see it. It's right here behind my thing. It is, but I would rather send a commander like this that's much higher level than the 90 tile that loses 29 and 19, right? And wipes the whole tile. Again, and he's leveling up. So what is your goal? What can you do? Keep using those commanders to take the tiles that are decently easy for them to take, right? That whatever your main 1 or 2 commanders are. I wouldn't do more than 2 commanders early in the game. And then also, don't forget, you can do the upgrade of the military academy once you get to a certain level. This can increase how many troops you can have, which increases your power, even if your character is in a higher level, okay? So really, really important to think about that and do that, okay? Guess I'm not gonna upgrade that. I'll upgrade that. So that's how taking tiles will work, right? In your mind, that's how you should think about it. You really want to lose as little troops as possible, but there are times you want to take the risk and get a head start jump, maybe for a tile to help collect things, or mock battle on that's higher rank. Mock battling always gives you more experience on higher level tiles, okay? So the ideal thing end game is to have a 300 tile, which is a max level tile, to mock battle on, to get XP for commanders, okay? That's the ideal thing to do. Again, you do get more XP for bigger fights too. So my Thorin did get a decent amount of XP in that fight when he took that 90 tile, but he lost so many troops, it's kind of like, for me, okay? So I would prefer to have my Theoden just take tiles like you saw at the beginning of this video. He took it with almost no losses, okay? Now, there will be a point where I should be able to attack these. See, these take 24,000. So it goes from having a defense of 10,000 to 150 tiles having a power of 24,000. Right now, my Theoden has a defense power of 21,000. So I'm personally going to wait until I can get one more level on Theoden by taking a few more 90 tiles, maybe like 4 or 5 more. And then I'm also going to wait for my military academy to give him 2 more slots of troops. At that point, I will be able to take that tile probably easily, because I will probably be about the same power, probably be about 24,000 as well. I'll be able to start taking 150s quite easily with very little troop losses. Maybe for the first once or twice I might lose some, but then when he levels up more, once you're about 1,000 or 2,000 power over a tile, you usually can wipe the tile very easily. Now, a few other things to think about when you're taking tiles is think about, there are some that have madness like Grima, which is really annoying. So good items to take tiles. This item is great, especially if you get the version that has this on it. Madness immunity really helps against those tiles that have madness with Grima. It also helps against PvP other commanders, right? So also amazing on Theoden as an item in general. But it's gonna be good on anyone, really. Even Thorin could use this with, you know, goats or some other kind of horse unit. I'm just using them as my example because I'm using them right now. This is any commander. Another item that's really good at taking tiles is the shroud effect on any armor piece. Is very, very helpful. Those units, you know, 60% chance to evade, first instance of damage, all that kind of stuff. Really, really good. Very, very helpful. Just to help negate damage. Your goal is to lose as little troops as possible. So again, commanders like, also another good thing to think about when it comes to commanders, those are good items. I just wanted to mention real fast. Commanders, leaders are very good at tile taking because when they hit level 20, they get +5 command automatically. Okay, so that's like what the military quarters gives, or every time you level up you get an extra one, right? So they get a lot more troops they can have, which means they naturally have more power. So they're good at taking tiles. And you notice Thorin and Theoden are leaders, so is Balin. All good tile takers that I like to use for my group. There's a lot of other good commanders too, obviously, that can take tiles. But another good commander, even though a lot of people use him even though he's not a leader, is Gandalf the Grey. He's a really, really good commander from his abilities, okay? So we'll move straight into commanders real quick for taking tiles. Abilities are really powerful. Abilities that can stun the tile, defend your troops, give your troops evade, you know, make the enemies maddened, heal your own troops, all those things. Your goal is whatever can keep your troops from dying. So if it's something that stuns or maddens the enemy, or gives you buffs or defenses in your troops, or heals your troops, right? Or your hero just does a lot of damage. Again, the least good out of those 3 things is a commander that just does a lot of damage, okay? Commanders do a lot of damage, are great, but by the time they dish out their damage by round 5, you've already lost half your troops, right? And it's like, that's not really ideal, okay? So again, Gimli is a high damage healer when I use him, but you can trait him in the Lockbearer, which will heal your troops. Or if you haven't rank 5, Lord of the Glittering Caves. Or if you use dwarves, I have a whole video on my dwarf commanders, kind of an over guide of them. You could check that out on the playlist. It might help you out too, if you like to use dwarves like I do. Gandalf the Grey is a fantastic tile taker. Thorin, if you have tier 5 Thorin, I mean not tier 5, but he's a tier 3. But if you have him even rank 1, his first tree is fantastic for taking tiles. He's right up there with Gandalf the Grey. He's like second to Gandalf the Grey, okay? In fact, I personally think he's better than Gandalf the Grey because he actually counters Gandalf. But that's not important right now. He's a tier 3 commander, though. He's obviously a higher tier 2. There's a reason for that. But Gandalf the Grey is fantastic tile taker. Thorin Oakenshield's rank 1 tree is fantastic for tile taking because he has a double stun, he has damage output, and he heals his troops, and he defends his troops with buffs. So he's really, really good. You can watch my video. I have a whole video covering Thorin, too. and a couple other of the dwarves. And we're doing more and more other commanders as well on the channel. So those are the things you have to think about. They will just keep, tiles will keep getting stronger. A 260 tile is a power of 84,000. Very high. A 300 tile, which is a max level tile, power of 104,000, okay? And something that's really important for tile taking, that please don't miss this, guys. This is so huge, okay? 150 tiles have one army. See how it says level 28, 1 out of 1? 90. Level 18 army, commander, 1 out of 1. Once you hit 200 tiles, it'll say level 35 army, 2 out of 2. So they have 2 commanders. And a beautiful, like I said at the beginning of this video, clairvoyance. I don't know if I said it, but I said at the beginning, maybe I didn't. Clairvoyance is a great ability. It scans the tile. So if there's 2 enemy and PvP characters sitting on a tile, they'll be the ones that are scanned. And you'll see the enemies, other players' armies. But if no one's on the tile, you can scan a 200, 300 tile, whatever you want, and it'll show you exactly what armies are on that tile. So you can prep and put the right counter commander or right counter units or armor or whatever. If it's Grima, you know, oh, I better put on my Madness helmet. But again, of course, then you're going to have to level that up. Don't forget, you gotta level up your gear once you put it on, right? And don't forget about imparting wisdom. Little side thing, right? If you're a new player, just if you're watching this as a new player, just this is some information for them real quick. Guys, if you go into there and you go into this and go into imparting wisdom, this is really good if you have your main character have this. It gives them some extra skill points to use, and it also makes it when you switch armor onto them, their familiarity is 50% automatically. So whenever you switch gear, if you don't have to go from 0 to 100 again, which I don't know if you are a new player, you don't know this, when you first put armor on people, it's not fully, the stats aren't full until this green thing goes from, you know, 0 to 100. And basically the only way to do that is to do sweeps or to take tiles, right? To get that up or battle other players. All right, good? You feel good about it? Please feel free to leave a comment if you have a question. Remember, guys, the goal is to make sure you're on par with the same power level, like this, Thorin. It's like this is perfect example, evenly matched. I'm just slightly stronger, or maybe 1,000 more, right? Don't be 1,000 under unless you're really just trying to take a tile to catch up and you have 2 or 3 commanders that can do it, right? And you want to use that as a mock tile. Let's say you want to take a 200, so you're gonna lose a lot of troops, and you know it. So you're just gonna sacrifice a lot of troops and take it. That is sometimes the beneficial way to do things. Occasionally, if you really want that 200 to mock battle someone on, you may have to hit that tile a bunch of times, right? Now, I would not hit a tile with this much of a discrepancy. Now, this army's level 35. Now, my Theoden, he's level 25. So maybe when my Theoden's around level 30, if he's 5 levels lower and I have my one place built up, my military academy, so he can have a lot more troops and he's a leader, I might hit this being lower power than it. You know what I mean? Even if my power is only like, you know, 39,000 or 42,000 or something, I might hit it and just keep going until I take it. I'll probably scan it ahead of time just so I can have a tile to mock battle on. So important things to think about. All right, my friends, you have a great day in Middle Earth. My assistant Zollin would like to say, don't forget to like and subscribe if we did earn it. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you for watching. There's a subscribe button there. It's free if I earned it. Thank you, Skumley, for being a royal guard. I appreciate the support. Next episode's up there, and over there is a Lotra Tale where I do voiceovers in Lord of the Rings Online. Have a great day in Middle Earth. Baruch Hazan, Kuzad I menu, and stay happy, my friends. Life is good. See ya.